it's more important to spend time with a young family, because we don't know what young children remember as they grow older and become adults. And these are the adults who treat their children the same way. Now, one of my favorite singer-songwriters was Harry Chapin. And my daughters and I have a very favorite song. It's called The Cat's in the Cradle. And I used to do this song with my students. Okay, I'd play the song and we'd discuss the meaning. And if I can, I'd like to recite it to you. I wouldn't put you through listening to me sing it, but...
You got a good voice.
Well, thank you, but, you know, it goes... And Harry Chapin had been known as America's storyteller. There are many folk singers and songwriters who have had that title, but Harry Chapin's music would tell a story. And the song goes like this. Child arrived just the other day. He came in the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking before I knew it, and as he grew, he said, I'm going to be like you, Dad. You know, I'm going to be like you. And now we have the chorus, and I'll discuss this afterwards. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, son. You know we'll have a good time then.
Well, they get the point.
Well, it goes on, you know, various things. His child arrived. His son was born. How many parents would describe it as he came in the world in the usual way? I don't know about you, but when my 4 children were born, that was damn special to me.
Yeah.
Now, I know children are born every day, and God bless them. But my 4 children were really special to me.
Special to the parents.
When I first learned that I was a parent, it's like my whole life changed. Everything and anything I wanted to do, I did for my children because they were so dependent. Okay? And this man not only missed the birth because he was away, the child started walking. The child started talking. These are once-in-a-lifetime things that you can see it on a computer now and on an iPod or an iPad or, a phone that has video, but it's not the same thing as being there. And then he goes into the chorus. Now, the chorus, amongst other things, is meant to show a passage of time. Listen to the chorus. The cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man in the moon. And I used to ask my class, what are those? And one astute student would raise his hand and say, they're nursery rhymes. And that's right. But they're unfinished nursery rhymes because the father was never home for the son. That was the one thing that was missing out of his life. Then he comes back and he brings his son a ball, and the son wants to have a catch with his father. What child doesn't want to have a catch with his father? I'm immediately drawn to the movie Field of Dreams. Okay? And Kevin Costner. And why did he get angry at his father? Because, he never had a chance to play catch with his father. Okay, that was the whole purpose. All right? But it also shows 10 years had passed. My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad. Come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today. He said, that's okay, but we'll get together soon, Dad. We'll get together soon. And then the chorus, another 10 years, and now the child is 20. And the father comes home from a trip, and he says, "Son, let's get together." And the son says, "No, Dad, but what I'd really like are the car keys." The kid's 20, he's driving. He has friends, he has a life of his own. And unfortunately, his father doesn't seem to fit into that life. And the chorus goes on again, "Cat's in the cradle, silver spoon, little boy blue, man in the moon." And the father says, now the father says, "When are you coming home, son?" And the son says, "I don't know when, but we'll get together then." It's the son now who's making the decision. And the son says, "Well, I have no time for you." And then the final verse of the poem and the song: "I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind." And the son said, "Gee, I'd really like to, Dad, but I don't have the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids have the flu. But it was nice talking to you." And he hangs up. And the father at the end says, "My son grew up just like me." Well, what example did the father show to the son? Now, you can look at it two ways. The optimist in me would say, "You had no time for me, Dad. I have no time for you. I have a family of my own now, and they take up all of my time." Or it could be that the son turned out just like the father, because at the end the father says, "He's grown up just like me. My son was just like me." Maybe that's the only thing he sees. And it's one of my favorite songs by Harry Chapin. As I said, my daughters and I love that song. And that's our song. That's how I look at it. That's our song. You don't want to be the parent later in life when you're retired, only to find out that your child has no time for you because you had no time for your child.
Yeah.
Well,
at least it sounds like the son was okay because he said he's busy with his kids.
You'd like to believe that. I would like to believe that. And as I said, I'm an optimist here, and I do believe that. But think about it in a broader scale. And I don't mean to get religious on you now, because I'm not the rebellious Rev, but think of it in a worldly scale. God is the Father. All right? Are we making time for God? It seems to me that when we're young, parents tell us you have to go to church on Sunday. Getting children to synagogue on Saturday is a bit tougher because, as I said to you before many times, Saturday services can run anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. In church, services are like every hour on the hour. So it's like they knock off a service right away and it doesn't ruin your day. But then when you get older, I know many of my generation is not too well connected with a synagogue, or even a church for that matter. But as you get into your 70s and 80s, especially your 80s, you basically have one foot in the grave. And you know that it's going to come time to meet your Maker. And you want to make sure that you're in good stead with the Almighty. So you begin to get religion.
Give me that old-time religion.
Not meaning to poke fun at it, but yes, give me that old-time religion. In fact, we'll play it for you later, folks, because I know that the Rev loves that. I love that song. And we have a great version of it. So, but it gives you something to ponder and think about. This holiday season. Think about your neighbor. Think about those who don't have what you have. As the movie was so aptly named, Pay It Forward. You go into a store and order coffee, leave an extra couple of bucks for the next person who comes in. And make sure you tell the person behind the counter that that's for the next person who comes in and orders coffee. And maybe that person will pay it forward. Okay? It's just something to think about. It's a shame that we only think about things like this, as I said, during the Thanksgiving and Christmas break. It's something we should be thinking about year-round. But you know something? I think the big guy upstairs, or the big lady upstairs, whoever that may be, would look upon you very favorably if you could just bring a little happiness into some stranger's life. Do one act of kindness and don't ask for anything in return. Basically, you've seen those bumper stickers before, so why not practice it? And that's all about all the preaching I have for this show.
You've done very well tonight. Now let's go back to the topic a little bit more. I told you basically what I thought of it as mitzvah, God will provide and how He provides. He provides us with our resources and all the natural wonders of the earth, but it's our job to use it properly. That's the only way I can justify that statement. The only way I could justify all people that are starving to death, dying, that He provides us with our resources. He provides us with this beautiful earth, but we have to take advantage of it. What's your idea on that, or what do you think?
Well,
what do they mean by that God will provide?
Well, I know some ultra-Orthodox Jews who believe, as I said, my wife's cousin married into a religious family, although her cousin's husband is not ultra-Orthodox the way some of his brothers are. He has two brothers that are ultra-religious, and all they do is study Talmud. They study the Torah all day, 5 days a week. And obviously they're in synagogue on Saturday. They have about 6 or 7 kids apiece. They're on public assistance. And, God will provide. Well, who's God? God is you and me, folks. Anybody having big families like that who are not looking, to sustain those families on their own, well, they're looking for a government handout. That's what it is. Now, a government handout is meant to sustain you during, the downtimes in your life. But you have to try to do something to better your life. And if a family doesn't do anything, then it perpetuates 2 and 3 generations on public assistance. Now, the funny thing is, the children of my wife's cousin's brothers, those who are old enough, have jobs. They work. They are Orthodox. Okay, they observe Friday and Saturday rules. They pray, they go to synagogue, they do what has to be done, but they also have jobs in order to support themselves. I think when a man's in his 40s already and he's memorized the Torah, well, if you want to get into arguments and conversation about what Rashi has to say or what Rabbi Mendelssohn has to say, that's one thing. But do that, through a job. Provide for your family. But they don't give it a second thought. They're in constant prayer and study. But I also have a nephew who is an MFA master's in UCLA, who teaches music. He is Orthodox. He wants to go for a doctorate in religious music, and he wants to teach. UCLA